All right, so in this video, we're going to go over how to scale Facebook ads. So let's say that you have some successful campaigns, you have some successful ad sets that you want to actually modify and duplicate so you can continue to scale. So how do you go about doing that in the most efficient way possible so that you can scale without any type of issues, any type of problems along the way? So the strategy here that you want to do in the very beginning is when you're creating your campaigns and you're creating your ad sets there, the way that I like to typically set this up here is having a particular ad set and having in that particular ad set one particular ad and then having like 4 different images. So let's say you have one particular ad there that is talking about how to lose weight. This is just a simple example here, how to lose weight. I'm going to have that particular ad copy, and then I'm going to have 4 different types of images that are going to be within that ad. So I'm testing one that has maybe a female, one maybe of a male, one maybe of, male and female, right? Just given the variation there so Facebook can have enough data, have enough variation there to be able to show your ad to different types of people, because some people may resonate more with a female, more with the male, or they may resonate with both the female and the male there. So we want to give Facebook enough data, and we give the variation there with the 4 different types of images for each particular ad, okay? Now, let's talk about what most people do here. Let's say that you have a successful ad campaign, right? You have a successful ad set specifically, and you've been running for a while, let's say 2 to 3 months, you've been highly successful, everything is going great, and then all of a sudden it just stops. It just stops getting the same type of metrics, the same type of return on ad spend, right? The numbers are just, lower than they used to be. So what ends up happening here is most people, what they'll do is they'll stop the actual ad set because they'll talk about it getting ad fatigue, which yes, makes sense. However, there's a better way to go about it so that your ad doesn't necessarily get the fatigue, because when you're first running your ads, and let's say that you have a audience on your ad set for, let's say, 1,000 people, just for an example here, your ad is not going to get shown to those 1,000 people in the very beginning, or really just in general. It's only going to get shown to a small sliver of that audience, maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, right? So let's say that, 1,000 as far as the audience there, your ad is most likely only going to get shown to about 100 people at the most, right? And then based off of those 100 people, as far as their interaction, their engagement, their characteristics, based on those, then that's where Facebook's going to go and find other individuals within that audience of 1,000 to show your ads to. And it may not show your ads to everybody in there, right? And so what we're going to do as far as our strategy is, instead of actually, closing down that ad set there and, deleting it or turning it off or whatever that may be, because of the ad fatigue, what we're going to do instead is we're going to duplicate a profitable ad set, okay? And then we're going to change a very small modifier. So this could be where maybe we're changing the age, maybe we're changing the location, maybe we're changing an actual mile radius, maybe we're changing a dollar amount on our bid, whatever that may be. We want to make one small variation of change there, because what's going to happen is it's going to restart the Facebook algorithm, and then it's going to show your new ad set there, right, that you just duplicated, to a different audience set of that large audience. So now with that 1,000, individual audience that you have, your ad may get shown to a different subset of that 1,000, person audience. And then it's going to collect a whole new data set of individual data points, right? And so now you have the ability to show your ad to different people, because what ends up happening is, through those initial conditions, when your ad is being shown to a certain audience within your 1,000 person audience there, it's only going to show it to other individuals that have initially engaged with that ad. And so when you duplicate a profitable ad set and then you turn that ad set on, it's now going to go to a different segment of that audience and find new individuals. And then based off those initial conditions, it's going to then find a different set of individuals within that 1,000, group of audience, right? And then show those ads to those individuals. So that's how you can continue to scale out your campaigns, really your ad sets. Anytime that you have a successful ad set and you see it, really maybe turning down a little bit as far as downward trending, you want to just duplicate that successful ad set and just change a simple modifier, right? Like I mentioned, it can be the bid amount. It can be maybe something with the audience, something with the age, something very minor, because as I mentioned, your ad is going to then now get shown to a different segment of that large audience that you have, because your ad is never really going to get shown to the entire audience set that you have. And so you want to give Facebook as much variation as possible, right? So duplicating your profitable ad sets and then adding a modifier is what's going to allow you to scale your Facebook ad campaigns. Okay, so that's going to be it here for this one, and we'll see you on the next one.